Thanks for tuning in to the Urban Scope podcast. I'm back with another Inside the Scope edition. A new artist that I just discovered through Tiny Desk and also Joe Budden through his podcast. Made a lot of references to this artist, but I never checked into the artist because a lot of times I want to find out about artists on my own time, unless there's a lot of uh, a lot of just public advertisement about an artist or something like that, because like I said, I don't listen to the radio much anymore. Pretty much no one does. So when I get in the car, I'm listening to Bluetooth, either podcasts or artists I already know. It's not like back in the old days when, I won't say the old days, but maybe 10, 15 years ago, when you would listen to the radio and that was your primary source for music. But now with the Bluetooth through the car, all these different ways you can listen to music, there's really no radio play exposure anymore. So most of the time you find an artist through YouTube or Apple Music or through these podcasts or through word of mouth, which is still a form that people use today to consume this music. But when you think about artists now, how do you find artists now? And one of the biggest ways I discovered was through Tiny Desk. Now, Tiny Desk does a lot of artists that are already established, but they do a lot of artists also that are on the upcoming artists. And this was no different than when I discovered Flo Milli. Now, Flo Milli is a female artist, female rap artist, or female hip hop artist that's new on the scene. She was discovered back in 2018 through her own self promotion, and she does have a lot of pizzazz and a lot of talent to her, a lot of creativity. Now, her real name is Tamia Carter, so that puts her in the same mold of a Sean or a Dwayne Carter. Now, if you don't know, that's Jay-Z and Lil Wayne's real name. I'm not comparing her to them, but she does have the last name Carter, so I thought that was kind of interesting when I looked her up. But nevertheless, Tiny Desk put me onto her, and like I said, the benefit of the Tiny Desk is it exposes artists to new crowds and to new audiences. And a lot of artists that are established, it reintroduces you to audiences. So like people like people like Jeezy did Tiny Desk recently. Other people do Tiny Desk just to reestablish themselves or to introduce themselves, or like I said, reestablish themselves, because a lot of times, like I said, we don't have that radio play anymore. And NPR does Tiny Desk, which comes from a radio basis or a radio platform that kind of puts radio back on the map, but you get a live performance as well. So you kind of feel like you're at a concert, but it's a small, intimate setting in like a library. So it gives you that unique perspective. But listening to that Tiny Desk of Flo Milli, it made me want to listen to more of her music. So her new album, which is called Fine Hoste, which is a series of a bunch of albums that she has titled kind of like that. It's a very good album. And like I said, she did a lyrical breakdown of her song Never Lose Me on Genius. And it showed me how passionate she was about her music and how connected she is with her music. She's not just making things for profit. It seems like she really cares about the art. And she's from Alabama, like Mobile, I believe, and a small town, a big enough town in the state, but a small town in the general perspective, things of New York or LA, Chicago, New Orleans, things like that. But she seemed like she cared a lot about her music, and she was very in tune with her sound. And she's very confident in what she does. It's rare to see an artist that new be that confident. She rocked Tiny Desk like she had been an artist for 20 years or had been in the spotlight for 20 years. She was very confident, and it showed in that performance. But her album, it's concise. It's only like 33 minutes and like 11 tracks, 14 tracks and like 33 minutes. But I didn't feel like it was not enough. I felt like I got enough music out of it. And like I said, she goes through different pockets. So she has like a gangster hip hop pocket, and then she has like the singing sultry pocket, which is kind of unique. It's similar to like a Doja Cat, I want to say. She bounces between different pockets, or even like a Drake, but it's all the Lauryn Hill effect. Lauryn Hill kind of established that sound of rapping and singing hooks and doing that, and a lot of people kind of mimic that style. But nevertheless, she can do both. She can sing, she can rap. I'm not sure if the singing is auto enhanced or not, but it sounds good to me, similar to Doja Cat. But she has a song on the album called "Can't Stay Mad," which I like. It gives you like a '90s vibe, and she's talking about how she can't stay mad at this guy because what he does or whatever. But it gives me shades of Glorilla too. Like I said, Glorilla had the album of the year, I think, for the female artist. I would put her album up there with even some of the male artists as well. Like I said, that female rap scene is heating up. I'll talk about that a little bit after this review. But a couple of other songs I like is called "Layup," "Clap Something," which sounded like a Memphis record. Like I said, Glorilla should have been on that record. It was very upbeat, very ratchet, so to speak. Then she had a song called "Not Sorry," where she gets into her love type back again. And then, of course, the hit single "Never Lose Me" featuring Cardi B and SZA. You can't go wrong when you put Cardi B and SZA on any song. And that song didn't disappoint at all. I probably listened to that song hundreds of times already. It's a very good song, very good features as well. So, like I said, the album is a vibe, and it's just puts the stamp on how the female artists in hip hop now are kind of lighting up the scene. Whether you have a Glorilla, a Lotto, Sexy Red, Ice Spice, even you have to respect what JT is doing as a solo artist now, coming from the City Girls. There's a lot of young and up and coming artists, to compete with the already established artists of a Cardi B, of Nicki Minaj or Meg Thee Stallion. Those artists are already established, but there are a lot of artists that are coming behind those established artists. And these younger artists are giving the established artists a run for the money. But like I said, those established artists have made a lot of money doing other things, so they're not as invested as these new and upcoming artists. And once these new and upcoming artists probably get established, they'll get all these different kind of deals and looks. Glorilla is already getting those looks, and Lotto is getting those looks, and especially Ice Spice. So it'll be interesting to see if they can keep on this streak of good music and just staying hungry in the sport. Hopefully that will keep that same fire. But nevertheless, this album was good. This is my second favorite. Flo Milli's album is probably my second favorite of the year, behind Glorilla's album Glorious. And I think Flo Milli's underrated as well. She was ranked number 10 on Billboard's hottest female rappers list right now. She was ranked 10, and I think she should have been a lot higher because, like I said, Cardi B really didn't put out a project this year, not to single her out, but I believe she's supposed to come out with an album this year in 2025. But if you didn't put out an album, I think you should have been ranked a little bit lower, even though she did a lot of singles and appearances this year. But if you have the time, go check out Flo Milli's album, Fine Jose. It's a very good listen. And until next time, I'll see you next time.